Every now and then, Chris and Meg end up in situations that are so weird, so uncomfortable, and so unexpectedly funny that you cannot look away.
Chris?
Meg?
Oh my god!
Their dynamic crosses lines in ways that are both disturbing and weirdly entertaining. So today, we are breaking down more times Chris and Meg got uncomfortably close. Let's start the show. In Season 12, Episode 14, it starts with something that already feels strange. Carter changes his will and decides to leave everything to Chris.
I have decided to change my will and name my grandson Chris the sole heir to the Pewterschmidt fortune.
Suddenly, Peter becomes desperate to win Chris over. He cleans his room, he does chores, he acts like the perfect dad, and for a short moment, it looks like things might stay normal.
Welcome to the classic comedy Meatballs.
Oh, that sounds great. Is it about a pasta factory or something?
But everything turns when Peter cleans Chris' room. Meg casually calls out that their bath is ready.
Chris, our bath is ready.
I don't know what to do now.
Now, we know that Chris and Meg still take baths together as teenagers. It is the kind of scene that makes viewers replay it just to confirm that it actually happened. In Season 16, Episode 3, Lois' mother hires Natalia, a strict and highly trained nanny who runs the Griffin house with perfect discipline.
Welcome to this work environment.
Stewie instantly becomes attached to her, amazed by how calm and powerful she is.
Natalia, will you be our nanny forever?
Everything in the house feels controlled and serious for once. Then, the danger arrives. Belarus hitmen break into the home, and Natalia shifts into full combat mode. She grabs Stewie and rushes upstairs to move him somewhere safe. She bursts into a bedroom expecting a threat, but instead of an intruder, she walks straight into something even stranger. Chris and Meg are in the room kissing. Not hiding under the bed, not disguised, not trying to escape danger. Just full-on kissing each other while the house is under attack. Season 9, Episode 4 is proof that Chris Griffin might have the lowest situational awareness in the entire cartoon universe. This kid walks into a Halloween party and suddenly believes he has become a completely unrecognizable mystery man. In reality, the only thing hiding his identity is the fact that nobody at that party expects Chris to ever be near a girl. Meg shows up dressed as a sweaty cat. Chris shows up dressed in a costume. The party immediately turns into the classic high school chaos. Masks, music, hormones, and a bunch of kids who should not be trusted around spinning bottles. The bottle lands on Meg, then it lands on a masked guy. The rules say they go into the closet together for 7 minutes, and the masked guy is Chris. Only Chris does not realize that, and Meg does not realize that. And the two of them walk into the closet, seal the door, and start making out like this is the proudest moment of their teenage lives. 7 minutes go by. 7 full minutes. That is a long time to not notice who you are kissing when you live in the same house. When the door opens, Connie looks inside and sees Meg and Chris making out.
My god, what are you doing here?
Trying to grab some
From your sister?
I didn't know it was you!
They yell, they panic, they call themselves disgusting. They insist this has never happened before. But if you have watched the show long enough, you know that is not totally true. They have been caught in weird, borderline moments more than once. This is basically the upgraded nightmare version. In Season 16, Episode 6, Chris and Meg end up defending the family name in the most extreme way possible. They turn an ordinary school lunch into a full massacre in the cafeteria. It all starts with Brian posting a bad joke about going to see a Kevin Hart movie, then adding that he is white and went to college. As you would expect, the tweet explodes into angry comments. People wish gross things on Brian, and one woman soaks him. For once, he gets attention from a woman and just ends up standing there dripping. It is the perfect image of instant online backlash.
There he is!
Where? I'm in the back.
The hate does not stop with him. It spreads to the rest of the family. At the store, Lois gets frozen out by the staff. She reminds them that they are on a first-name basis.
She doesn't want to talk to you either. Nobody does. Not as long as you're living with that racist dog.
Peter gets the same treatment at his favorite bar. He tries to defend Brian by saying the tweet is gone. The guys tell him the hurt is still in their hearts, and no sad apology letter is going to fix it. He brags that he knows the lingo of the internet, but that does not help either.
But the hurt has been RT'd in our hearts.
Peter, you better get out of here before I start saying sir like a cop.
Things are even worse for Chris and Meg at school. Meg suggests they should eat outside to avoid trouble. Chris refuses and says they are staying. They sit down in the cafeteria, and of course, one kid decides to test them right away. From there, it stops being a normal fight and turns turns into pure chaos. The siblings do not just defend themselves, they completely destroy the room. It is shockingly graphic for a cafeteria brawl. Nobody wants to get cracked like a fortune cookie. In Season 22, Episode 6, the whole moment starts when Meg is in the kitchen baking cupcakes and casually says she is celebrating. Chris congratulates her in the most confused way imaginable, and Meg walks out, leaving him alone with the cupcakes. Instead of eating them, Chris decides to sit on them. When Meg checks her camera later and sees the footage, she does not react with anger or disgust. She decides to post it online to embarrass him.
Oh well, time to go transport a Texas resident to her reproductive health appointment.
The video blows up instantly. Suddenly, Chris is internet famous. The family even starts treating him differently because of it. Master rules the family now. And the joke hits because everyone keeps acting like Chris is some kind of rising star.
We'd split the profits.
You think you're the first person to pitch me a crush fetish website?
Meg leans into it and turns the whole thing into a fetish content business. She films Chris sitting on all kinds of desserts, and people keep paying to watch. Cupcakes, pies, anything soft enough to splatter. Chris becomes a walking dessert-sitting icon, and Meg runs the camera like a professional.
Wow, that was great. How was that for you?
It was amazing.
But the fame gets to him fast. He gets tired of being known only for sitting on food. He tries to get random people on the street to let him sit on their desserts just to feel something again.
Well, duh. The moment I walk in, you start running new pie designs at me. What do we do with pie designs, Meg?
It is a downward spiral played for comedy, and Meg finally steps in to help him stop. It is one of their strangest collaborations ever, a mix of internet culture, humiliation, and weird sibling teamwork.
Treated you like a carrot muffin I butt smothered for money, but you're not a carrot muffin, you're my sister, and I forgot that.
In Season 11, Episode 20, the moment starts in the most Chris Griffin way possible. Meg is doing her funeral home job, trying to be responsible, and Chris decides to play with the dead body she is supposed to prepare.
Okay, fine, Meg. I used the body to get me into R-rated movies. After that, I took him swimming and he fell apart.
Once Meg sees what is going on, she realizes she is out of time. The wake is happening today, and there is no body to put in the casket. So she makes the only choice she can make when Chris ruins something this badly. She tells him he is going to replace it.
Meg, I'm not doing this.
You have to, Chris. Siblings have to look out for each other.
Chris gets shoved into the casket, beard glued on, suit buttoned up, and Meg tells him to stop moving. He tries to whisper that he has an itch, and Meg fires back with the kind of line only siblings can deliver.
Just straightening out his pants a little.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Scratch it. Scratch it.
Just when it seems like he might get through the wake, the widow walks in. She starts explaining how her husband was an organ donor, how his face is being given to a woman who recently lost hers, and Chris has to lie there, pretending to be the man she is talking about, while trying not to react at all.
Meg, though you cannot tell, I am frowning.
In Season 14, Episode 16, the moment begins with Meg getting stuck with the worst community service assignment possible. While the popular kids get fun jobs, Meg is sent to a retirement home where every resident seems committed to insulting her.
And between you and me, I hate my new student volunteer. That ugly little Meg.
Then she finds it, a fancy brooch sitting in a drawer, and after the way she has been treated, she decides she deserves something nice for once. She pockets it without hesitation. When she gets home, she shows off her new treasure like it is a prize. And that is all it takes for Chris to notice.
Stealing is just plain. Oh my god, is that someone else's glasses? I love wearing other people's glasses!
Chris is instantly interested. He sees Meg with other people's stuff and wants in. And in true Chris fashion, he does not steal quietly.
Hurry, take everything, and be quick, or we'll be in bigger trouble than a fat guy at a water park.
He starts grabbing everything he sees. Sunglasses, trinkets, even an urn full of ashes because he thinks it is an ashtray. The two of them start living surrounded by stolen objects. And Chris says it feels comforting, like being at the bottom of the ocean with pieces of people's lives floating around them.
Oh my god, what are we doing?
I feel awful. We need to give everything back.
But the moment Chris realizes he has been shaking around someone's actual ashes, everything stops. Meg and Chris look at each other and feel the guilt hit at the same time. They try to sneak all the stolen items back into the home, but the residents catch them instantly.
Listen, we're very sorry we stole from you, but you have it all back now, so we cool, right?
Instead of calling the police, the elderly give them a punishment that might be even worse. Chris and Meg are forced to spend every afternoon listening to long, rambling stories. The kind where time stops and you start praying for the sweet release of anything else. The two of them sit there frozen, trapped in a nightmare of slow conversation and pudding cups. And all they can do is suffer together.